The defaults right now are incredibly high at unprecedented levels, and there's no evidence that the default rate is tapering off. Those defaults almost inevitably are leading to foreclosures and homes being auctioned and home prices continuing to fall.
What you seem to be saying is that there is a very predictable time bomb effect here.
Exactly. I mean, you can look back at what was written in 05 and 07, you can look at the reset dates, you can look at the current default rates, and it's really very clear and predictable what's going to happen here.
Just look at this projection from the investment bank of Credit Suisse. These are the billions of dollars in subprime mortgages that reset last year and this year. Now look at what hasn't hit yet. The Alt-A and option arm resets when homeowners will pay higher interest rates in the next 3 years. We're at the beginning of a second wave.
How big is the potential damage from the Alt-A's compared to what we just saw in the subprimes?
Well, the subprime was approaching $1 trillion. The Alt-A is about $1 trillion. And then you have option arms on top of that. That's probably another $500 to $600 billion on top of that.
How many of these option arms would you imagine are going to fail?
Well north of 50%. My gut would be 70% of these option arms will default.
How do you know that?
We know it based on current default rates, and this is before the reset. So people are defaulting even on the little 3% teaser interest-only rates they're being asked to pay today.
That second wave is coming ashore at a place you might call the Repo Riviera, Miami-Dade County. This Miami luxury building was a sellout, but when we visited, a quarter of the condos were in foreclosure.
What did this place go for?
This was originally purchased in October of 2006 for $2.4 million.
$2.4 million? What's it worth now?
The asking price from the lender is $939.
So it lost $1.5 million in value in a couple of years?
It was a tough 2 years.
And there are tough years to come, because just like the subprimes, the Alt-A and option arm mortgages were bundled into Wall Street securities and sold to investors.
In a nutshell, 2009 looks like what to you?
Miserable.
2010?
Miserable, even worse.
Sean Egan runs a credit rating firm that analyzes corporate debt. Fortune magazine cited Egan as one of 6 Wall Street pros who predicted the fall of the financial giants.
This next wave of defaults, which everyone agrees is inevitably going to happen, how central is that to what happens to the rest of the economy?
It's core. It's core because housing is such an important part. We're not going to get the housing industry back on track until we clear out this garbage that's in there.
That hasn't cleared out yet.
In fact,
we haven't seen the bottom.
It's getting worse.
What do you mean?
There are some statistics from the National Association of Realtors, and they track the supply of housing units on the market, and that's grown from 2.2 million units about 3 years ago up to 4.5 million units earlier this year. So you have the massive supply out there of units that need to be sold.
Well, with the housing supply increasing that much, what does it mean?
It means that this problem, the economic difficulties, are not going to be resolved in a short period of time. It's not going to take 6 months. It's not going to take 12 months. We're looking at probably about 3, 4, or 5 years before this overhang, the supply overhang, is worked through.